What is up, everyone? My name is Zach, and welcome to my ranking video for this week. Not for movies, though. We're talking about games, and if you can't tell right here, Nathan Drake's joining me with the Uncharted series. We're talking about a ranking for all the Uncharted games. I'm a big Uncharted fan, and ever since The Lost Legacy came out, I thought I would talk about, because pretty much that is a full-fledged game, and this is it's on the console. I want to talk about that. Shout out to the small PSP Vita game that did come out. It's called the Uncharted: The Golden Abyss. I only played it once. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I really just wanted to make this dedicated ranking video to the Uncharted series. So if you guys are wondering, where's that video? Where's my thoughts on that? It would just be on my list if I had to put him anywhere, but it doesn't make it a bad game. It doesn't hold up to the other heights of the Uncharted games, in my opinion. But other than that, guys, let's get into the ranking. At number 5 is going to be Uncharted 1: Drake's Fortune. Now, yes, this is the first game in the series. I absolutely adored this game. I find it fun, but it is really short, and for me, it doesn't hold up as great as the other Uncharted games do. I have gone back through all of them, and this is the one game in particular that really I like a lot, and at the timing, I found this to be one of the best PS3 games out on the market, but every other Uncharted, for me, has outdone itself better than this one. And I feel like there's no big action scenarios in here. The only reason I really like this journey is, of course, the supernatural elements that they show towards the end of the game. The puzzles are fantastic, and the characters you meet in here, Nathan Drake, Sully, Elena, are all fantastic. Plus, I actually did enjoy the villain for this one. And for me, I enjoyed Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I love how it starts. I love how it ends. It's beautifully, the graphics still really do hold up. And I found the combat to be fantastic as well. It's just, for me, the other games have such higher lengths and higher action in there that have better moments and memories for me than Uncharted 1 did, and that's why it's going to be at the bottom. Me at number 4 is going to be Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Yes, the brand new adventure with Chloe and Nadine. Now, for honestly's sakes, I probably would have put this game a little bit higher if the game would have been a full-fledged, honestly, as long as the other Uncharted games. Would have put it up there. But still, this game is fantastic. The story they tell is great, and I love the characters in here. I mean, Chloe, she's always been one of my favorites that I've wanted more of her, and we finally get that. Nadine Ross was an interesting character that they introduced in Uncharted 4, and that was a character I also wanted to see more of, and I'm glad we get their perspective here. The adventure they go on, they have some great action set pieces on Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. The graphics, of course, are probably the best the Uncharted series has ever had, but it does boggle down a bit with the pacing once you get thrown into this open world scenario where it kind of gets a little bit boring and a little sidetrack-ish. And the Jeep combat, the Jeep driving around isn't the best in my opinion, but it's really just a small complaint overall with how such a great package the game holds. For a $40 value for a 4 to 6 hours gameplay with just the story alone and none of the other secret things you can do, Uncharted: Lost Legacy is a great adventure to add into the Uncharted, and it made me for once think that you can actually spin off the Uncharted series and it doesn't have to be about Nathan Drake. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Uncharted 4. So, for me, I would honestly give Uncharted 4 a 9.5 out of 10. My one complaint with the game is, again, it's repetitive at times, and it is a very long game for the Uncharted series, and it does boggle itself down with that length. But besides that, I found the adventure they went on with adding Nathan's brother into your Sam is fantastic. He's one of my favorite characters in the whole game now, and I want to see more of his character as well. But for me, it was just everything in this game that made what Uncharted is fantastic. I love the story that they went into. I like how they threw Sully. I love how they threw Elena in there. The Crash Bandicoot Easter egg is fantastic. It's great to see where Nathan Drake is after Uncharted 3, because Uncharted 3 could have ended the series there, but Uncharted 4 picks it up and ends it perfectly, especially the ending here. The epilogue episode is just great. I mean, if you've played Uncharted 4, you know what I'm talking about. But for me, Uncharted 4 is one of the games that accumulated everything in the Uncharted universe, sends off every character in a great way, where if we don't see him again, it's okay. We don't need to. And I think Naughty Dog, with the way they were marketing it, made the game seem really dark, but it never came out to be too dark to the point where it didn't feel like an Uncharted game. It still had the smart-ass wit, it still had the jokes, it still had the fun adventure tides of an Indiana Jones film. But Uncharted 4, just that one little repetitiveness did boggle it down for me, but I love Uncharted 4 to death. I'm going actually back through it again on crushing mode right now, and Uncharted 4 is one of those games that you gotta pick up if you love Uncharted series. Coming up next is going to be Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. So for this game, this is probably my favorite location they've ever gone to, with the snow effects, the Himalayas, and also I love the supernatural elements in this game. I thought it was fantastic. My one thing I didn't like about the story, though, was Sully rarely being in it, but it was cool. They introduced great characters like Flynn, Chloe, and also a great villain in this mercenary X-Man, and he was cool to see. The boss battle at the end's a little, like, what the hell's going on, a little stupid at times, but Uncharted 2 is fantastic. The way it opens up with the train building off, you have to climb your way up, is a great way to intrigue you and hook you into the Uncharted universe. It was the one game in the Uncharted universe that I think if you weren't on board with the first game, this is the game that hooked you on super fast. For me, I feel like this is the one that probably got the best pacing out of all the Uncharted games as well, and it also gave us more depth to Nathan Drake himself, which is something that I think the first game was lacking. Uncharted 2 for me is a fantastic adventure, and I think it has some of the best areas that Uncharted's ever visited. It is probably the most supernaturalist of all the Uncharted games, but that's okay because Uncharted is supposed to take you into these locations that you've never been to, and probably never will be able to, because some of them are fake or rumored or no one knows if it's real or not. And Uncharted 2 is one of those games that takes you somewhere where it really mystifies you, makes you so intrigued into the world that it was so great. It so engrosses you into this world and the story that they're going on. And I find this to be one of the best journeys in there. Characters in here that are introduced, the action set pieces are the fantastic play, and all the cover system was so much more refined in this from the first game, and I absolutely love Uncharted 2. Coming in all the way at number 1 is going to be Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Now this game is one of those games that I actually was late to the party on. I didn't play it for some reason the first few weeks it came out. It actually took me a couple months to get to. And when I finally did, I found this to be my favorite one. For the main fact of Sully being one of my favorite characters in the Uncharted franchise, and him getting the limelight on this after being kind of shunned into the background of Uncharted 2, I found myself loving his character in here. And plus you get to see, this is the game that really brought a more emotion and story driven to Nathan Drake's character. You get to see him as a kid, how he met Sully, and how it ties into this actual story still. Plus you get Chloe and another character named Cutter, who is great to see in here as well. And the puzzles in here to actually be some of my favorite puzzles in the whole game itself. The action set pieces, again, I don't think live up to Uncharted 2, but Uncharted 3 is my favorite mostly just because of the story and the depth that they gave to Nathan Drake himself, and just having the back and forth with Sully. And honestly, like when Sully died, quote unquote, in the game, it was really heartbreaking to me, and then you find out he's alive, which was kind of a coy that I guess some people might not like that Naughty Dog did, but I did enjoy it because Uncharted, even though it can be a dark and serious game at times, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a serious adventure, and I guess when a character dies or fake out deaths, I did care, and it does make me sad to think that Sully dying. But Uncharted 3 is a fantastic game all the way around. It's the one game I think I would probably give a 10 out of 10 to any of the Uncharted games, and that's saying a lot, because almost all these games would be above an 8.5 for me, 0.5 to 9.5, and this game adds to that series. I love Uncharted 3 to death, and it's one of those games that if you haven't played Uncharted, if you've only played 1 or 2, Uncharted 3, if you want more character development, you're going to get that in here with all the story and the characters it's showing. My ranking list for all the Uncharted games. What did you guys think? Comment down below and let me know. What are your thoughts about the Uncharted series? Do you love it? Do you not? Are you kind of not your favorite? But what I want to hear is what your ranking is, and what your favorite Naughty Dog game is, and what you hope to see from them next after they make Last of Us Part 2. Other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and look out for more videos soon. Stay classy and have a great rest of your day.